Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, why your next trip to Aldi could reveal whether you're a good or bad person.
Also, Netflix, stop picking fights. They're raising prices again.
All that and more on the way next. Elon Musk is at the center of a controversy. Actually, he's really at the center of controversies, but the one we're going to talk about is revolving around video games. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about this, finding this out, Allie, that apparently Elon Musk has admitted in DMs on X, some call it Twitter, it's now called X, that he has paid people to play video games for him to level up his characters. This was brought to light after he did a recent live stream on X, where he was playing a game that Path of Exile 2. He was trying to show off his characters in the game, but to many experienced gamers, it seemed that he had very little knowledge of what he was doing. And so it says his account had telltale signs of a guy who'd paid to have someone else level it up.
Yeah.
Is that okay to you or corny?
Not okay to me. I think it's actually it's annoying for sure. But I will say, after looking more into this, he does mention, and I think I believe him as far as what I know about gaming, I suppose, which is not a lot, that a lot of people that are at the top of some of these big games do exactly that.
That's what he claims, yeah.
Either pay people, or it's like a team of people working on one account,
right.
All to have, the best, most, just impressive player. I don't even know, just like their character is fully leveled up and just like unbeatable. Yeah,
sometimes that can be difficult for just one man or woman to accomplish on their own. To me, I don't have a big problem with it.
Okay.
I have a lot of other problems with Elon Musk, but this isn't one of them. Because to me, paying someone to accomplish something for you is accomplishing it. If you don't have enough money to know what that's like, then that's sad to me. Listen to this. If you can pay someone to level up your Path of Exile 2 character for you,
yeah,
and instead you play Path of Exile 2 to level up your character all on your own, you know what you've done? Wasted time. You could have spent that time doing something else more impressive. Meanwhile, simultaneously still accomplishing it by paying somebody else to accomplish it for you, and you get the credit.
I suppose. I mean, it's fueling the economy, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
He's adding some money into, it could be someone's full-time job. We don't know. Elon Musk could have a whole gaming division.
Now, you have to ask sometimes yourself the question, for the people that are the ones that get paid to level up characters for other people, why don't they just do it for themselves and then show off?
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe there's not a lot of money in that.
Maybe there's not a lot of money, or maybe they just are not the type of personality to be like a streamer or something.
Sure. Or they just love that gaming so much. They don't tell Elon, but I would have done this for free. Path of Exile 2 is just that fun.
I mean, if you were paid to play your favorite game, and that's like your full-time job, I don't see many people that would say no to that.
Yeah. If it's what you love, then make a full-time job out of it.
Right.
But if you can pay somebody else to accomplish something for you, you are accomplishing it, to me. I don't see any problem with you taking the credit. Yeah.
You know what's actually probably going on here behind the scenes, though?
What's that?
There's labor laws being broken, because guaranteed these are 12-year-old boys doing this for.
Yeah, that's right. I'm surprised he would admit this. Surprised he would admit to this. But congratulations, though, to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
We're all very impressed.
Sure.
What an accomplishment and if you spent time playing this, he could have been, he's got so much else. He's a government employee now, kind of, in a way. Yep. So he's supposed to be cutting out waste. And this would be wasteful for him to be playing this game.
Yeah, it's a more efficient way to play.
Exactly. As promised, last night I did go and see Mufasa, the Lion King.
Yes.
That's what it's actually called. And I could wait all the way until the box office breakdown on Monday. Traditionally, we would do that to review recent movies, but this is new.
And it's on the top of your mind.
It's on the top. It's fresh.
Yep.
And I didn't want to deprive people too. Maybe some people are thinking, should I go see Mufasa tonight?
Right. Yeah.
So I'll start with the things I liked, because I want to start on a positive note. I thought it was a pretty funny movie.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if you saw the trailer, but was there anything about the trailer that said this is going to be funny? Not to me.
No, it looked like just like a sweet type of film. You know, they were like going for sentimental.
Yeah. I mean, it has some heart to it, but it was surprisingly funny. It's not like it was a comedy.
Okay.
But they just utilized Timon and Pumbaa, who were, Rafiki is telling them this story, is how they set them and Kiara from The Lion King 2.
Oh.
If you remember that.
Yes.
She's in this movie.
Oh.
Rafika's telling her and Timon and Pumbaa a story. And so they cut away from the story to feature Timon and Pumbaa from time to time. They're pretty funny. Zazu is pretty funny in the movie when they introduce why he has joined the gang. And young Rafiki, shows up in the story as well. Okay. And has some great lines.
Nice.
He says, my eyes are open. It is my lids that are closed. And then this is my favorite. I feel like Rafiki couldn't have been the first to say this. It's easy to doubt everything when you know nothing. Rafiki, very
wise.
Yes, very wise. Also, the villain. You got to have a good villain.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of Disney movies lacking a good villain nowadays. This one had a pretty good, a line you were pretty scared of.
Okay.
And this is going to be counterintuitive, but I did like the visuals of the new Mufasa.
Really?
It was impressive.
Okay.
That they can do, most of the lions look so realistic and the other animals very realistic. The water, there's a lot of water in the movie, very realistic. That said, and this, I feel like maybe it was a problem with the original Lion King that they redid, but because you already knew the story, it was easier to follow. But it's hard to tell the lions apart.
Yeah.
When they're so realistic. Yeah. They're like, we can't make them look goofy. And so I did have a hard time with that. I was like, which one's Mufasa? Which one's Simba? Which one's Uwasi? Which one's Rafiki? Which one's the glib gorb glab galab? I couldn't tell. I could not. I had a hard time following. So that's that. But all that said, that was the good things. Let me get to the things that were disappointing.
I was going to say, I'm waiting to hear what you didn't like.
The songs. They were okay. They weren't bad, but we just, Moana 2 came out.
Yeah.
Everybody disappointed with the songs because it wasn't Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep.
Because he was working on the songs for this one.
Yeah.
So I was like, at least we'll get some showstoppers, some great Lin-Manuel Miranda at his best, and it was not him at his best. It was, some were okay, some actually irritating. Oh, no. Unfortunately. And that brings me to my dislikes too. Lions singing.
Okay.
It's one thing for these realistic lions to be talking and their faces emoting, but when they're singing, that makes no sense. It does not look right. Also, you're from Africa. What do you say? What would the odds be of a group of lions traversing a snowy mountaintop?
I mean, I guess it's
like,
not...
were the lions ever climbing Kilimanjaro?
I was going to say, I guess it's not unheard of. There's opportunity for that to happen, but I have not really seen many lions that would go up high, into the mountains that much.
Into the snow.
Yeah.
There's a significant portion of the movie that takes place in the snow and a mountain. And I'm like, I feel like there's maybe one snowy mountain in Africa, and I don't think the lions are going that high.
No, it has to be extremely high for there to be snow in Africa. So, yeah. No.
Yeah. Also, I just felt like the whole story and some of the way the lions were talking and whatever, it kind of felt like Lion King fan fiction. Oh. Like they adapted, like this is something somebody wrote online, and they're like, we can work with this.
Yeah.
And this was the worst part to me. So this is not really a spoiler because it's very early on in the movie. Mufasa, when he's a child, I thought it was Simba at first, but it was Mufasa. Okay. He gets separated from his parents in a flood. And so he floats down the water, whatever. Eventually he gets discovered by this other lioness, and then the lion who, obvious to everybody, turns into Scar when he's a child.
Yeah.
And so they pull him out of the water and whatever. And there's a brief mention of I'm lost from my parents. And then that's not
they're not addressed at all.
You think that'd be like a crux of the movie where he's like, I gotta find my mom. And he dreams about it a couple times, but as soon as he's pulled out of the water, he's racing people and whatever. He's not oh, I miss my mommy. He's a little baby. I don't understand. It didn't make any sense to me. And that was kind of emblematic of where I just felt like it went astray of maybe it was just trying to cram too much in a big, long story in. And so they had to cut out some of the emotional moments. But a lot of the motivation just didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it felt like
it wasn't as strong.
Yeah. And that's so sad because the original Lion King, I'm not talking about the remake.
Yeah.
The original Lion King has such good emotional beats to it that still kill me to this day whenever I watch it. So, but that type of stuff is hard to recreate.
Yeah, definitely. I know. And that brings me to my final point, which is I hope that I live long enough for them to remake this in an animated form because I think it would be better.
Okay.
I mean, at least the lion singing would definitely look better or at least less weird. We spent too long on this movie. It doesn't deserve this kind of review. It was too long. It was okay. A little less than okay. In Florida, a woman was just recently arrested with drugs. She was arrested for drug possession. She was carrying her drugs, allegedly, I suppose, in a bag that said the words, "Definitely not a bag full of drugs."
Oh, my goodness.
First of all, fear not. This was not our beloved Nikki. This was Taryn, a woman named Taryn, who's 31, of Melbourne, Florida, which is in Brevard County. She was booked after over the weekend. Again, drug possession charges. Police caught her, and her drugs were in a bag with the words, "Definitely not a bag full of drugs," printed on it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So some may think, well, this was maybe a clever, especially if you're going through the airport. Maybe this is trying to be clever, like reverse psychology. These are not the drones you're looking for type thing. But this is a bag, like she didn't just write this on there.
Yeah.
This is a bag she bought on Amazon or something.
Oh.
She just normally carries her drugs in this bag.
Oh.
To me, is what I'm pulling away from this.
Okay. I thought it was literally like a Ziploc bag that she like wrote that on. No. You're like, what the heck? Why would you be so dumb?
No, it's like printed on there and there's like sparkles.
Okay.
This is, I mean, you can buy, I bet you if you Google Lens this, you could buy this somewhere. Probably.
Oh, yeah. It's like a little zipper pouch.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's either she bought this or somebody gave it to her as a gift.
Oh my goodness.
They knew her so well. They're like, hey, you're always carrying drugs around. This could be helpful to you.
This is perfect for you.
Yeah. Or she bought it herself and she's a drug addict, unfortunately, with a sense of humor.
Maybe. Yeah. It looks like something that you would buy and you would just have like ibuprofen, Tylenol in it, like a regular person.
That's what normal people would do.
Yeah. That's the normal drugs
people that
you would
aren't
put in there.
addicted to drugs.
Yeah. Not addicted to methamphetamine or whatever. But that seems like why this bag is for sale. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's an odd choice to choose a bag like that and then just chock it full of, syringes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess she thought that if the time ever comes, I ever do get accosted by the police, this bag will throw them off the scent.
Yeah, because it says it's definitely not a bag full of drugs.
Yeah.
They're definitely not going to look in there.
You're asking a lot of questions about my bag full of drugs that are clearly answered on my bag full of drugs. It's definitely not one. I look at I've got the shot of the bag full of drugs, and then I've also got her mug shot. It's just sad.
It is.
It's a disappointment. We are both baseball fans here on the Hudson Show. So it was an exciting day yesterday when we got to find out who the new inductees to the Baseball Hall of Fame are for this coming class. We've got 3 big names that finally will get their name etched in whatever material they use to etch the names. Number 1, Ichiro Suzuki.
Yes.
Longtime Seattle Mariners. Great. He just got a bajillion hits in his career. He got in 99.7% of the voters voted to induct Ichiro.
No, that makes sense.
I want to know who that 0.3 is.
Right.
Your vote should be stricken away from the records.
Yeah, what a loser.
Ridiculous. Ichiro Suzuki, you're saying you had a yes or no. Should he be a Hall of Famer? And you checked no. What is wrong with you?
I guess they had someone else in mind, but yeah, that's it seems like no doubt in my mind that he deserves to be in Cooperstown.
Yeah, he's a no doubter. He had a great career, and so glad to see Ichiro make it in. That was his first crack at it. Also, the first crack, you should be happy about this, CC Sabathia.
So happy about CC getting in there. Cleveland made a post about him. The Akron Rubber Ducks made a post about him. Everybody was congratulating him that had any part of his career. So, as a Cleveland fan, for sure was happy to see that CC got this nod.
So you don't consider him like a traitor for leaving and going to the Yankees?
In the moment, we certainly did. It was hard. I mean, it's similar to like Coco Crisp, as you probably remember Coco.
Yeah.
That was hard when he left. And so, it's always tough when a player leaves and leaves in a fashion like that. But we still reminisce about the good old days with CC, and he's been back multiple times, throwing out the first pitch. And he clearly...
Oh, now that it's convenient for him.
But no, he clearly still loves Cleveland and loves the franchise, loves the city. So I think genuinely he has won the heart back. One heart's back in that town.
I harbor more resentment for players that have the choice. Money is money.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're Johnny Damon and you go to the New York Yankees and you have to shave off your beard and look and then, do the Yankees thing after you've been a Red Sox for so long. You know what? Forgive me for not forgiving you. But you know what CC stands for?
I did not know. What does it stand for?
Karsten Charles.
Really? Karsten.
I'm sure I've read that before. But
his son, I believe, is also named Karsten, so it must be like a family name.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's CC Sabathia Jr.
Yep.
And then the final inductee, only 3 this time in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Billy Wagner, who was a longtime closer, of dominant reliever for a few teams throughout his career, the Mets, the Astros. This was his 10th time on the ballot.
Wow.
And he finally gets in 9 times, I guess. The voters said, no, Billy Wagner, not a Hall of Famer. This time they said yes. I'm always confused how that works.
I know
there's some kind of cycle through of like every person doesn't have a vote every year. Like, some people retire or move on or whatever. But how do so many people change their minds? Or they see the name every year and they're like, nah, I don't think so. And then finally enough people 10 years in go, I guess Billy Wagner, sure, you can get
Well,
it.
if he's been on the list that long and he wasn't one of the more impressive players in previous years, maybe now they were like, all right, he is one of the more impressive ones on this list, so we're going to give him the nod.
I'm looking at some of the guys that missed the cut and like missed it by a long shot. So Carlos Beltran was closest. He should be in 70%.
He'll be in eventually, and that's usually how this works, is you, like Billy Wagner, you're on the list for a little bit.
Andrew Jones, Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, and Felix Hernandez, none of them all got passed over. Only Andrew Jones out of those got even over 50%.
Yeah,
I know there's a steroid thing, but that's nonsense.
Not everyone can be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Sorry, it's impossible for everyone to be that.
Manny Ramirez has been on the ballot 9 times. He has 34%.
That one definitely needs to be rectified.
Dumb.
He deserves to be in.
Happy Wednesday. I was happy, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news and bring everybody down right now, at least all the Netflix subscribers. But it was announced yesterday, Netflix, believe it or not, raising prices again.
Why?
They need more money. Netflix needs more money. I don't know if you've checked their stock lately. It's only at like $689 per share or something like that. It's ridiculous.
What is it normally at? Or what was it that's supposed to be at?
Hold on, let me double check. I'm doing that from memory. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's $869 per share.
Okay.
Normally, prior to the announcement yesterday, it was at 870 some. So it went up quite a bit. It was already very high.
Yeah.
Year to date, it's actually gone down. See, so they need more money.
Yeah, sure.
They need
more money for their budgets for films that shouldn't get made.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
No, truly, that is how I feel. Because in all honesty, like, I have Netflix. I have gone back and forth with Netflix where I'll get rid of it because I'm like, I'm not watching a show currently. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to get rid of it because I don't want to pay for it if I'm not using it. Mm-hmm. I currently do have it, resubscribe to it or whatever. And I have actually the one subscription that they're not changing the price for. So I'm happy about that, which is like the the one that's without ads, but it's like the basic. So it's like $11.99 per month. They don't mention that one's changing.
Yeah, I don't see that here.
Yeah, so I don't think that one's going up, but everything else is. But yeah, I'm upset about this because I feel like we're just continually giving them money to make films that no one asked for and films that are so bad that they just end up on the backlogs of Netflix, never to be seen again.
Yeah, the problem is what some people consider the beauty, but what I consider the problem with Netflix is that they make so many bajillions of things that there's always something to watch, but there's always 10x things that you don't need to watch that you would never even consider watching that you're paying for them to make.
I remember when it was a big deal when Netflix would release a new film. You know, like they would promote one film at a time.
Yeah.
And it actually was a decent film. Yeah. And now it's like
it would at least have appeal to somebody.
Yeah.
At this time, I believe, I don't know if they do this all year round, but for much of the year, they'll be like, we're putting out at least one new movie every week.
Yeah.
No company should be doing that.
No.
There's not that many not that many movies that need to be made.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You need to start cutting some of your film department because they're not doing a good job. And you can't just keep requiring your subscribers to pay for stuff that's not going to be watched.
So the details are the ad-supported tier is going up from $6.99 to $7.99 per month, so $1 per month increase. And, you know, when you put it that way, you're thinking $12 more per year. Fine, I like Netflix. But then what if you're somebody who's got the standard ad-free tier that has been $15.49 a month? That's going up $1.50 to $17.99. $18 a month you're paying for Netflix?
That's crazy.
That's not even the highest tier. Who is paying for the premium tier, which is $22.99, going up to $24.99 a month?
$25 a month for Netflix.
For Netflix. What do you love on Netflix that much?
I could never, because I mean, I know when you actually do the math and add up all of your subscriptions together, it's a horrible amount of money, and I don't like to do that, but I do keep track, and I try and cut the ones that I don't watch, you know, as often as I can, but I cannot fathom spending $25 on one subscription.
And they don't even let you password share anymore.
Right.
And we're sitting here, people are paying their hard-earned dollars for what? The couple of shows they do, like Squid Game, that comes out once every 2 years, and then they split it into 2 half seasons for some reason. And
we know why they did that.
And don't even get me started on Stranger Things. Why are we paying $25 a month for Netflix when they can't even make the final season of Stranger Things?
Right. We never know when that's ever going to come out.
I feel like they're stretching that out because they feel like once people watch it, they'll cancel.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll finally be done. Bet you didn't know this, that when SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket lifted off last week from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, it included the first ever house that is going to be left behind on the moon.
Really?
Yes. They call it the Moon House. Wonder where they came up with the name. It is going to be left behind on the moon once Firefly's Aerospace Blue Ghost Lander and iSpace's Resilience Lander touch down on the moon on the SpaceX rocket that has been launched. The house, the Moon House, created by an artist named Michael Genberg. I assume I'm pronouncing that correctly. The house is only like a toy size. It's very tiny. It looks like a Swedish cottage, and this is a dream he's had for about 25 years or so to leave a house behind on the moon's surface, and now that dream finally coming true.
Finally coming to a reality. Also, I will admit I did know about this. Even though I went, really? Yeah, I did know about this. And the thing that I actually want from this artist is he painted a painting that is his tiny little red house that looks like a Swedish cottage on the surface of the moon with the earth in the background.
Yeah.
I want that painting so bad. It's so cozy and just like It's everything I love. I love cozy, I love little houses, and I love space. I'm like, that's me. I need that.
It checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
That's crazy because this whole time, he's like, I've dreamed of this for 25 years. And I'm thinking, that's a weird dream to have. Like, you want to put a little toy house on the moon?
Apparently, he's been doing this a lot. I had never heard of this guy before. So his little houses are famous. They've made appearances all over the world, in trees, underwater, on the Great Wall of China, and even on the International Space Station. So they've made it to space before.
Yeah. Well, that's just perfect for people like you.
Yeah.
I also had not heard of this guy. I guess I'm glad that he's finally going to get to accomplish his dream. The lander is supposed to touch down on the moon's northern side, and that will be a few months from now. It takes a while to get to the moon, I guess.
Takes a hot second. I also think like obviously it'll take a little bit for this to land because I think they're doing other missions with SpaceX's Falcon 9.
Oh, so maybe it's like orbiting around or whatever the moon, and then it says it will touch down, and then this house is in a micro rover named Tenacious.
I love that name.
And so that is going to, I guess, take it to where it needs to go on the moon.
Yeah.
Because it matters. It matters where they leave that moon house. And I guess that makes sense, too, because you want to be able to find it in the future and whatever.
Right.
So that's, I will be interested to see. I know the photos will probably be very low quality, but I'd like to see once this is a finished, complete project.
I don't know about that. I feel like most of the time they usually do employ these rovers with pretty state-of-the-art cameras when they send them up in space.
I don't know. I remember seeing pictures come back from like Mars and stuff, and I'm thinking, why does it, like, if we're spending all this money, why does it look so bad?
Really?
Yes.
I from the Mars rover, there are some incredible photos, so you might just be looking at the wrong sources.
I remember this being a problem I've had before. The pictures from space have not been good enough for my liking. The college football season just ended 2 days ago. So it's not too early to start thinking about next season, right? Not too early for the ACC to reportedly start kicking around some absolutely nonsensical conference championship game alterations.
Oh, really? I did not hear of this. Honestly, I've been in Buckeye La La Land over the past couple of days. Understandably so, right?
Yeah, of course. Enjoy it. Soak it up while you can.
I am.
But the ACC, of course, suffered some disappointments this year in the college football playoff. And it seems that they may be trying to game the system to possibly shoehorn more of their teams in to the college football playoff going forward by messing with the fairly standard current conference championship game format. Most conferences, maybe all of them, some of them have divisions, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, but most of the major conferences, it's just all the teams are in one division, one conference, and then the top two in the standings play for the conference championship. Makes sense, right? You play the whole season, the top two teams, and then whoever wins is the conference champion. Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
One of the ideas the ACC may adopt going forward is letting the number one seed in the conference that finishes the regular season at number one have a bye, and the number 2 and 3 teams would play for the conference championship game.
What?
Exactly.
What?
The
That's
idea
so
being that that number one team couldn't lose as SMU did in the conference championship game and possibly have their chance taken away of making it into the college football playoff. And also, those 2 and 3 teams maybe ordinarily wouldn't get a chance to make it in. But if one beats the other, it looks like an impressive win that they can add to their resume.
So in other words, don't try and win the conference. Just try and make it into the playoffs.
Yes, which actually does make sense.
But that means your conference championship means nothing.
It does.
It means trying to win your conference means nothing.
Well, maybe that number one team would get that bye, though.
But why would you want it?
Another idea they had, and I kind of like this, actually. I kind of like it. It's better than what we just said.
Okay.
They would have a 4-team tournament to close out the season.
That's what I thought you were setting up, was a tournament.
First versus fourth, second versus third, then the winning 2. But that gives you more of a chance. It gives you more of a chance to add another win or 2 to your resume. It also gives you more of a chance for your number one team to be knocked out by an even lesser opponent and hurt their resume.
I mean, it could. I don't hate that idea because it could add some like electricity to what many have viewed as one of the weaker conferences in college football right now as far as like the power conferences. So that could help them out, maybe gaining some TV rights and also some popularity because people will be like, oh yeah, a little mini playoff. Let's watch this.
Even though that does exactly what I hate, which is diminish the regular season even more.
Yeah.
And so I don't want that. I don't know why all these leagues can't just do the simple thing and go back to having divisions that would make the scheduling much more fair. And also, then maybe you would get, oh no, Miami's really good in this division and Cal won the other division somehow and they're not that good. But then at least Miami doesn't have to worry as much about losing. And
that would never happen because Cal is not in the ACC.
Did they leave?
Cal has been in the, are they in the ACC now?
Yes,
I was going to say they were in the Pac-12. And
as ridiculous as it seems, a team
why
that
aren't they
borders
in the Big 12?
In a state that borders the Pacific Ocean is in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
I guess I can't complain. I'm in the Big 10, so, we got teams all over.
24 teams now?
Well, we've got teams all over the country. But, I don't know. These... In all honesty, these seem like dumb ideas, but I don't think we should go back to divisions because then you end up with Michigan and Iowa in the Big Ten championship game.
And it always worked out. The better team won and made it into the playoff, and Iowa was nowhere near, and that's the way it should be. And the schedules actually made sense then, and you didn't have Iowa traveling to USC all the time.
No, your two best teams should play for your conference championship.
But when you have unbalanced schedules with everybody in the same division, then you get tiebreakers that make no sense.
I mean, that's fair. That kind of almost happened with the Big Ten this year.
Almost.
With
Indiana had a real chance.
Yeah. So
even though they did not deserve it. You know what? And I'm not just saying this because Ohio State won the championship, but college football is so dumb. It's so dumb that we like it because it's so good, but it's also so stupid. You got a test here to see if you truly are a good and moral person. This is a simple test.
Okay.
It takes place at a grocery store or a Walmart.
Okay.
Let's say you're doing your weekly shopping trip. You've grabbed a ground beef from the ground beef section of the store. Now you've traversed throughout the store. You get to a different section of the store. You get to the chip aisle. And you're like, you know what? I don't think I need this ground beef after all. I am just going to actually decide to not get it. What do you do with it?
I would take it back.
Take it back to the ground beef section.
Yep.
Then you, according to this test, are a good person.
Okay.
However, there are people out there, because we see this from time to time, that will just leave whatever item they've decided. Now, would your response change if it wasn't something that needed to be refrigerated or frozen?
Maybe.
If it was a box of Kraft dinner.
Yeah, it depends on, like, I guess the refrigeration part does play an aspect because I wouldn't want the meat to go bad. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely would want to take it back. But also, like, if I'm super far away from the place where something is supposed to go and it doesn't need to be refrigerated, I might leave it somewhere.
Yeah. If I've got a can of Pringles and I eventually decide I don't need these Pringles, and I'm not like right by the Pringles at the moment, I'll probably just leave them on whatever shelf is nearby.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen before. I feel too guilty doing that, so I end up buying it. But I would imagine like if I'm like absolutely adamant that I'm not buying this thing and I'm like, that's from the snack aisle and I'm in the automotive section, looking
Walmart.
at the tires, I'd be like, oh, I have to walk all the way back there. So I might not leave it in the tire section, but I'll find somewhere to put
an end cap or something. I'm with you. I feel like possibly according to this test, we may be bad people because we don't take everything back where we got it from if we decide we don't want it.
Okay.
But I mean, in the scenario that was presented, it's a steak. And there's literally a picture of somebody that had left a steak in the non-refrigerated area of an Aldi.
No, that's terrible.
And Aldi's aren't even that big comparatively.
Right.
So
you could definitely
really
take it back to where it belongs in Aldi.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Now, this some say this replaces the previous test of a good person at a grocery store, which is if you would take a shopping cart back.
Oh, yeah. I always take a shopping cart back.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I hate it when people leave it out in a parking spot because someone could accidentally hit that.
People come up with excuses. Oh, it's too far away for me to go put it away. You walked however far through the store with that cart before. You can't take it another few steps. Yeah. Oh, I have my kids with me. You didn't have your kids with you when you went and got the shopping cart. Like, what are you talking? I don't buy any of the excuses. If you could go get it,
yeah,
you can go put it back.
You can put it back.
You can find a way.
You'll figure it out.
And then I always, when it's one of these things, I ask yourself this question. What if everybody did this?
The world would be better.
If everybody left their cart instead of walking it back and came up with an excuse, what would our parking lots look like? Chaos. First, Allie, another moral question for you.
Okay.
When is it too late to apologize for something you've done wrong?
When is it too late to apologize?
Yeah, when has it been too long and you might as well just let it go?
I would say never.
Never.
And the reason I would say that is because sometimes the other person may not always know that you harbor some type of guilt for doing something that you felt like you did wrong towards them. And it can be very healing for you when you go and apologize and ask for forgiveness, even if they may have never been aware of what you were thinking.
Yeah.
And it might also help your relationship with that person. So I would say there's never a bad time to apologize. Maybe sure there could be one where you would say, yeah, you should have apologized sooner. You know, that person was really hurt by what you did. But if you're taking the time to try and repair a relationship, it's a good thing.
Oh, see, you're right. I don't think it's ever too soon to apologize.
Sure. Yeah.
I disagree that it's never too late.
But I don't think the correct answer is then to let it go.
No. Let me give you a couple examples. One would be, let's say that you bullied somebody in high school and now it's 10 years later.
Okay, yeah.
You want to go up to them and apologize because you see them at the grocery store?
I mean, I've heard of times when that has happened.
Yeah, so that's a good one.
Yeah.
But here's an example for me, because I really feel like I know, to me, what I've found what the right answer is. And that is you break up with somebody.
Okay.
I don't mean like you're the one that broke up, but like your relationship ends. And long afterwards you go, like there's things about that relationship that I definitely did wrong. And I wish I could apologize. But you don't need to go. Like, I think that there is times where that's too late.
Yeah.
Because one, that's more about you than them. I think when you're apologizing, obviously it's important for you to realize what you've done wrong and get that off your chest. But I also think you have to think more about that other person. And sometimes you apologizing will just, they're either going to question your motivations or it's opening a new wound where, like, are you apologizing to help them because you think they're still thinking about it? Or are you apologizing because you feel bad?
Right. Well, I think the key in this situation is the situation where you brought up like the kid you bullied in high school and you end up running into them in the grocery store. That's a perfect moment that you probably didn't think you were going to have.
Right.
For instance, but with like an ex, you might not have that moment. You might be like, oh, let me text him or whatever. That would be a little odd.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think there are situations where you apologizing may be important for you.
Right.
It's not important for the other person, or just not worth the other hassle that the other problems that it could bring up.
Yeah, it's a there's nuance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so in those instances, because I actually think that probably each of us at some point in life have one of those.
Sure.
Where you need to apologize, but it's too late. It's not too late to still get that off your chest. And one way you can do that is by talking to God about it. We feel like sometimes it feels like, I like if I can't apologize to that person specifically, then I'm just going to hold on to this thing forever. But you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can let God deal with it and get that forgiveness from him, because God is there to forgive you for what you've done and to get guilt off of your chest. And also he can work in situations to work it out where maybe you directly apologize to the person isn't the move, but God can work in that situation the way he needs to. And you can get the closure you need. And maybe the other person needs it. I don't know. Maybe it comes up. But at the end of the day, again, if it's more about you than the other person, you can actually get what you need out of the situation by talking to Jesus about it.
Absolutely. My favorite Bible verse comes from 1 John 1:9, and it says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive our sins and cleanse us of all unrighteousness. That's a promise, And so guilt, it so often can weigh us down. I think that's what I was getting to when you asked me this question, because often it hurts us more by not apologizing because we get weighed down by that guilt. But, God is exactly the perfect example of who you do need to talk to when you have that crushing guilt that's weighing you down.
Yes, that's exactly right. Don't let guilt weigh you down. God is always there to take off that load off of you. And all you need to do is talk to him wherever you are. You want to know more? RadioU.com/free gift. Let us know your thoughts for today's Would You Rather question of the day, which is, would you rather have to ski down a black diamond that is the toughest normal mountain to ski down, the toughest slope, or would you rather surf a big kahuna, which just surf the biggest wave imaginable? 877-2-RADIO-U. Susanna says, ski, you can control how fast you go. The ocean is too unpredictable and wants to kill you. It is filled with things that want to kill you and or make you want to die.
Oh,
Susanna sounds like she shares my fear of the ocean, which may surprise Susanna to find out that although I am afraid of the ocean, I'm definitely choosing the wave.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've also never surfed and I have skied,
Okay.
but skiing is fraught with danger.
Yes, it is.
Once you start going down that slope, you can't stop. You have to get to the bottom somehow.
Yeah. And I believe black diamonds are pretty steep.
Pretty steep, and people get injured skiing down the bunny slope. You can tear your ACL, like nobody's business. You can mess up your knee in no time skiing a fairly tame mountain if you do something wrong, if something goes awry. And as much as I have been skiing, it's been a long time, I don't trust myself on a black diamond.
Yeah.
But surfing, how many times have you heard of somebody getting besides a shark biting you, how many times have people gotten injured surfing?
I mean, I guess I haven't heard too many of surfing injuries because I think if you're attached to your board, that is a flotation device.
Yep.
So you'll probably be okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I get up there, I'll fail miserably, I'll wipe out, the wave will overtake me. I might do a bunch of turns, toss and turns over and over underwater. I'll wear a helmet so that I don't hit my head on some coral or whatever. And I think I'll survive and what kind of injury am I going to get surfing? I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the sport of surfing. I do know it does certainly have some danger in it, though. And I'm sure there are injuries attached to it as a sport. I think I also have a fear of the ocean. I watched Jaws at a very young age, too young.
Yeah.
And it did give me quite an irrational fear of the ocean, but also I would assume rational in some scenarios. So I don't like the ocean just in general. I'm like, I'll stay on the beach.
Are you afraid of the ocean or are you afraid of what's in the ocean?
That's the thing is getting caught in a current or getting pulled out.
I'm not afraid. I am kind of afraid of deep sea fish.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the things in the ocean, even sharks. I'm not afraid of being bitten by one day.
Okay.
But I am afraid of being lost at sea.
Yes.
But I'm not going to get lost at sea surfing.
I mean, if it's an 86-foot wave, potentially you could get pulled out. I don't know. But I think I'm going to go with skiing because even though both of these sound very extreme and something I would probably never do, I think the one with the skiing makes me a little less afraid because at least I'm on the ground and I'm not in the water, which makes me a little nervy.
All right. Well, we're opposite on this one, but skiing, you hear people getting,
It's true. It does have a lot of injuries
laid
attached
up
to it.
for months because of skiing, and they're experienced skiers.
Yeah.
You never know. Surfing, I feel like is safe enough. I'll take my chances that way. Don't know if you've checked in on Fortnite lately, but if not, you definitely should.
Okay.
They have a new collab that launched a few days ago with the Monsterverse. And so we're talking like Godzilla, King Kong, etc. And you can actually, in Fortnite Battle Royale now, you can play as Godzilla. And I don't mean Godzilla is your skin. I mean, you can be Godzilla and wander around the map, crushing buildings, screonking and heat beaming players into oblivion. Meanwhile, you can also be just a regular player and try to take down Godzilla. And it is a lot of fun.
I mean, that sounds super fun, but how many Godzillas can be in one map at one time?
It's only one.
Okay.
And it's I believe it's random too. So I haven't played a ton of Fortnite, but I played since they brought this in over the weekend. And sometimes while you're playing a round of Battle Royale, it'll say the Godzilla portal is open. I don't even know enough to know, is that something that is triggered by something or is it just random?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then once it opens, then you have to race to where the portal is. Whoever gets there first gets to be Godzilla, and then they get to be Godzilla until their health is depleted as Godzilla, and then you go back to being a regular player. There's also rewards for dealing damage to Godzilla. So like obviously to prevent people from just being like, well, if Godzilla's over there, then I'm going to hightail it and just hide. It's because he would obviously stomp on me.
Right.
And so and it actually like, it is really cool.
I mean, the picture looks awesome. That is on this article here.
Yeah. I think people seem to be enjoying it. They also have launched, not only can you be Godzilla you get the chance to play as Godzilla, you also, if you so choose, can buy the skins to be like King Kong or Mechagodzilla. And I believe, because I've seen this in the map before, but I haven't seen it happen during a game. But I think you might be able to get the chance to play as King Kong too. Because I've been in the battle bus and King Kong has been stomping around down on the map as things get started. So I don't know if that's something that's coming, or maybe I just haven't gotten the chance to experience yet. It's not mentioned here. But that is something that's another little wrinkle to add to get you back into Fortnite. Some of their collabs are really goofy. They Mariah Carey and Skibbity Toilet lately, but anytime you involve Godzilla, to me, I'm interested.
Yeah, this one seems like a win for sure. It seems like they're on track with getting people behind this collab.
So you want to fire it up tonight?
I have never played Fortnite.
Fortnite.
I don't plan on changing that.
You want to come over and play some Fortnite?
Nope.
I'll get you the Godzilla portal. And you can be Godzilla. I'll let you play as Godzilla.
That sounds fun, but the type of games I play are like The Sims.
Don't we sound like we're 12 years old right now? You want to come over to my house and play Fortnite?
We'll take you to the Godzilla portal.
I'll let you be Godzilla. I unlocked the Skibbity Toilet. The Skibbity Toilet emote. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.